Bridgewater went
years.
You
to.
think it's funny?
Oh, why?
Is that you think it's funny?
No, because they're gonna offer him too much. Just give him, just give him a
Like,
little
why
more.
you gonna?
I'm not. I just don't get it. Like, why?
They're trying to lose, Scott.
Yeah, so why would
On
you want
purpose.
Bridgewater, like,
This will help us lose.
Perpetually.
I thought that was an all Kings blood. That they
No,
had
they're
to get
they're
Dolphins.
finally
It's crazy.
they're finally going for the
Everywhere.
I
bottom.
slipped through the
Yeah.
cracks.
They're not signing anyone.
As a
No.
local Patriot
That's the
fan,
only
I'm
way to
the one that
get
slipped
good,
through the
man.
cracks.
You gotta
Yeah.
suck.
he is.
You
Well,
know
he
what?
signed a 5-year deal, D-Flow, so
Who did?
B-Flow, bro.
D-Flow. Yeah.
B-Flo. His boy B-Flo.
Ryan Flores, but he calls him
love
B-Flow.
it. I love it. So much better.
I'm supposed to be excited about another head coaching hire. Every 3 years we hire a new head coach. Every 3 years they have a new plan.
Look at the Browns, man. Now things,
And you know how they got good?
How?
Sucking.
New
Because
coach.
they bottomed out. You have to bottom out. It's the only way to do
They
it, man.
just stay perpetually.
You
I
can't.
do like
if
how
you're,
Joe
if you're
said it, win
between
the
9,
offseason.
if you're between 9 and 12 all the time, you're
Yeah.
fucking stuck. in
Teams
that
that win the
shit. You're
offseason
stuck there.
never.
Either you're going up, or you gotta bottom out. So let's see.
Hey, it's a House Rules Wednesday, March
You have to
13th.
bring Miami up for it.
Yeah,
Oh,
why
you
you
know,
gotta you
why-
right
why you
before
fuck
the
with
show
me?
just
Nice
to
place.
and he
You know,
wears the Patriot
Your,
right in front of you.
your
just so
coach
he's
is
got
out there swimming, not doing
How
anything.
nice was that too?
They didn't
He
even
just
want to
doesn't
sign
care.
Antonio Brown. That was the only guy they wanted.
Oh, he
That didn't work. It's like I'm on vacation.
doesn't
We
care.
don't-
Like I said again, it's a House Rules Wednesday, March 13th. We got the 4 Horsemen in the house, and we're gonna have a special guest on the show about fantasy baseball,
And more.
and we also will have a caller at some point. So starting off the show, I figured we'd just go in. Yanni's got a story to go, correct?
Yeah,
What?
I had to bring it up because I mean, I ran into this guy last night when I was at work at the bar, and one of the most interesting characters I've run into and I've had a conversation with.
Is he like the Dos Equis guy? Something like along those lines.
Something like that? Yeah, maybe not as Dos Equis guy's got some like sex appeal.
Right.
This guy was a little bit,
Rough
We
around
talking
the
about the
edges.
real
Just a
Dos
little-
Equis guy, or we talking about a Dos Equis guy at your bar?
He's the closest thing that we've had to a Dos Equis guy. And He was
Okay.
in Mystic, Connecticut last night.
Oh, this
Really?
is interesting.
So the guy's a fisherman. And
Yeah.
He gets recognized by one of our regulars because he saw him on the news, right? And he saw him on the news because this guy's fishing boat sunk down on the race in the middle of the ocean while he was out fishing.
Just a couple days ago.
Just a couple days ago.
Right?
He took on water. He was trying to fix something on the boat. He fucked up. The boat was taking on. He had to call. Yeah, he had to call the Coast Guard, save his ass. So he lost his fishing boat, which is his livelihood. And he's telling me this story while he's sipping on his Heineken,
Right.
and he's casually sipping on that and eating a rice pudding,
Which is interesting.
which is an interesting
I could do
combination.
that.
You
Yeah.
know, just right.
I could do that.
Heineken and a rice pudding.
Yeah, he's
I'm
looking.
the only other
So
person.
like, but he's very, very just like grounded and mellow about it. And while he's telling me, about him losing his boat and
Losing his livelihood.
he's losing his livelihood.
He's very calm.
He's kind of just like looking out into the, into
Space.
wherever he's looking. I've been there. I can relate to that.
Yeah.
And he's just kind of got this peace about him. And I saw him like, this guy's fucking interesting.
Yeah.
So we start digging deeper, and the reason why he's even in the area
Right.
was because he divorced his wife, who he was with, I think, for like 10 years. He met in Costa Rica, by the way. Picked her up in Costa Rica, married her.
Huh?
Yeah, I don't know how much of the details or whatever, how he met her. but-
That's interesting right there.
Yeah.
Well, so he has a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old with her.
And he's 60.
He's 60. Just Adam,
Jesus.
right? So, I mean, I'm already like, he's a fertile motherfucker, too.
Yeah.
Just this tall, lanky kind of, you know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
a little gangly dude, fisherman.
Just lost his boat.
Zero fucks.
He's got a 3-year-old.
Yeah, a 3-year-old, a 5-year-old,
Fertile.
a 33-year-old. He ranged from like.
How many kids does he have?
Yeah, 7.
7.
Fertile.
7
Busy.
kids.
Yeah.
So, the reason why he's even in the area is because his wife up in Saratoga, right? Because she's in Saratoga. She ran off with one of the horse jockeys over at the fucking Saratoga.
You can't make
Springs.
this up.
No, this is good.
So he says to me, he goes, she went from 6'3" to 4'10".
Yeah.
He's like, apparently.
And this is the Costa Rica wife.
Yeah.
And she ran off with a jockey.
She ran off with a fucking jockey.
Rosario.
Yeah, but those jockeys, they hold on, so they probably got like good rhythm. No?
Joe would know.
Just a thought. Just a thought. Just a thought. Just a thought.
You
Ride a
guys got
horse.
something. Yeah, I don't know, but it just kept it kept getting better and better. So I'm like, this is great. And he's like, dude, listen, if I'm holding you guys up, get him around.
Keep
Keep
them
the
there.
open more. I love
Keep
work.
him here.
Keep him here.
Keep the drink.
Harry comes in the morning, the Angie's in there still sitting in the bar telling
This
stories.
is great.
So you know me, I want to get into like more of the psychology of him. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I'm like, I got to give you a lot of credit. I'm really impressed that you're very grounded. You know, considering a lot of things right now are going a little bit off.
A lot.
He's been living in a hotel in Mystic for 1.5 years.
In a hotel.
Hotel, no problem, just doing his thing. And he says to me, he's like, I had a near-death experience. He didn't explain that. I'm gonna get into that next time he comes in. He's like, after I had that near-death experience, I think he was probably in like his 30s or something like that. He's like, he's like, just clarity in life. Everything became really clear. He's like, the things that fucking matter. He's like, I made $1 million. I lost it all. He's like, I've made money back. Now I'm losing it again. He's like, the fuck, you know what I mean? He's like,
It all evens out.
it all kind of evens out.
I gotta meet this guy.
I kind of like his.
He sounds interesting.
And to top that all off, he played fucking professional baseball. I'm like, you know what, man?
And he
Now
was a
you're
ball
making me
player?
fucking feel like I'm not doing anything with my life. Yeah, and he played for the Montreal Expos.
What the fuck?
I mean, he played in their farm system.
But
I
still,
didn't
he's
check
a
it out.
great
Yeah,
athlete.
exactly.
Yeah.
Fisherman, sunk boat, play baseball.
This is he gonna come back? Is he still in Mystic, John? Is he going anywhere?
It's all based on. Well, he says, listen, he's like, I love this place. You guys have, everybody's been treating me very nice. So like, if he does stay in the area, you'll be seeing him again.
Didn't you say like when you were talking out of nowhere, you just said, "Get us, whiskey on the rocks" or something?
Oh yeah, after he finishes Heineken, still has some rice pudding left. Gets a
Whiskey.
whiskey
Go
on
with
the
his
rocks
rice pudding.
to kind of to wash it down.
I lived in a hotel for like 6 months.
I loved it. I loved
I
it.
have something in common with this guy, I feel.
Whiskey.
What
and
else
rice
besides
pudding?
that?
Oh, I
No,
love
Scott
rice
did
pudding,
drink a lot of
beer.
whiskey when he was in that hotel.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what.
Holiday Inn, man, great pancakes.
I'm glad you found a way to relate to that. Yeah, no, that was really.
Something
Really
boat
tied
man.
that in.
What was this?
Because your life is just as fucking interesting.
I used to drive Fisher's Island ferry boat, right near the race. And my captain's license.
Same thing. Well, hey, you got
I
some
can
stuff.
guarantee you I could start up a conversation with this guy. Not
guy
as
can start up-
intellectual as Yanni over here.
It sounds like this guy could have a conversation with pretty
anybody.
much anyone.
Oh yeah,
Pretty much.
yeah, pretty much.
No, just, he can have a conversation with anybody, but it's the people that would bring the conversation to him. You're willing to actually talk to him and get the conversation. Most people have been like, all right, this is just a weirdo, lanky guy
Right.
drinking rice pudding,
Drinking rice pudding.
Yeah,
Drinking rice pudding.
that's what I got.
That's
Oh, that's a good way to work, though. How good was
Bro,
that?
it helped my
Flew
night
by.
out because I had to stay there till about 1:00 last night. We're repainting a lot of
Oh,
the
that's
guys are
right. So
doing some work.
yeah. So you get the honky.
So
hang
you know
out,
what I
yeah.
mean? I was like, no man, stay.
No, stay
Yeah.
on
Keep me company over here.
What a great guy to have.
I'm
come
gonna
in.
talk to Captain Rick. Well, I won't say his full name, but he calls himself Moby Rick.
Moby Rick.
Moby Rick. Yeah.
Of course he does. It's perfect.
Right?
How long is he gonna be in this area for?
I don't know, man. I think I'm gonna house him up.
You probably should.
Keep him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we get him on the show?
Absolutely.
I mean, he sounds like that's a good
He's
story.
a pirate,
Right?
man.
Yeah.
He sounds like a character. I like that.
He just lost his boat. Nah.
I just think it's
That,
You know what?
Immediately, man, when I saw that, you know what I mean? Because that was the first thing I was like, so was that your livelihood, or did you do that? I don't know if this
Leisure,
is
yeah.
for leisure. He's like, no,
No,
that's
it's-
pretty much my only source of income. And he's just looking up. He's like, I don't really know what I'm gonna do. And I'm like, well, you got insurance? I was like, I didn't have insurance. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
expensive
But he's
laws.
fine.
Huh?
It sounds like he's gonna
He's gonna make it.
figure it out.
Inner peace, Harry.
Inner peace.
Do you know what he was fishing for?
Fucking anything that made him money. I don't know
Oh, yeah.
specifically. I'm not into the game, bro. I know
Jeez,
that's.
man.
It's in the range. Alright. I'll meet him.
someday.
Interesting.
I
Yeah.
am. I love people like this,
Yeah.
especially at work. It's even better
Yeah, absolutely.
because anybody that can make an hour go by fast seem like 5 minutes at work, you got a gift.
Yeah, you're right.
Speaking of guys though that are interesting, what's up with that guy that you were talking about? That guy that drove from.
Oh, he drove from Maine to.
What's up with these
California?
guys that are driving across country?
I don't know.
This is the second
The
week
second
in a
week
row.
in a row. Last week I had a story, and that story just.
That was a guy you knew.
Someone I went to high school with decided to drive across, and that story just got even worse over the week. Like, after the radio show came out, I got a text about that it was even more, like, perverted.
He was creepier than we
Yeah.
anticipated.
But this one, this guy, like, they shut down his YouTube channel. He packs up 3 baseball bats, and he's like, I'm going up to Silicon Valley. I'm going to fucking...
From Maine.
Straight out. Yeah, right from Maine.
With baseball bats.
I'm going to straighten out these guys and fucking to get my YouTube
And I like
channel
how
back.
he kept getting in trouble on the way to California.
Did you see the guy?
Oh, really?
Yeah, he kept on his way there. He was causing problems all over the country. That's how they found out he was coming.
Also, how far did he make?
Wait, St. Louis, he had an
Yeah.
issue. You know, there was something going on in St. Louis. He goes, "Don't get on my bad side because I'm about to go."
Yeah.
I'm heading over to.
I'm heading up to YouTube headquarters. I'm going to fucking straighten them
Remember
out.
that movie?
So all the
Mike?
cops were talking.
Yeah.
Like,
Really?
because now they're thinking this guy might, shoot the place up.
Yeah, but all he had was baseball bat.
Yeah,
He
he said all he had was baseball bats, but they started communicating. Like, we heard about the bat guy. Yeah, he was in St. Louis. He's on his way out there. You guys might want to keep an eye.
I just
on
don't know why these people are just snapping, like, driving across country. Like, just
That's
hop
the
on a
best part.
plane.
It's like, I'm gonna get him. Gonna take me a week, but I'm gonna get
So
him.
by the
Keeping
time,
that
are you-
rage.
Are you still gonna be? Yeah, you're still gonna be that fired up.
You could get there and be like,
You
well,
might find some fucking clarity driving across country.
you-
No,
I guess it really
this
was-
guy was still pissed off in St. Louis. He was halfway there. He was fucking angry.
yeah.
What was the movie with Michael Douglas when he lost his shit?
Oh, it was great.
What was that movie?
Oh man, I know exactly what you're talking about. It was fantastic.
Falling.
Yeah,
Falling down?
Yeah,
Is
that's
it
it,
Falling
John.
Down?
That's it, man.
Yeah.
That movie was amazing.
Yeah, it's like a lot of those guys are around right now, but Michael Douglas had he had a bad week in that movie. But these guys are just like they shut his TV off. You know, it's not like.
There you go. That tells you the state of affairs in this fucking country.
Do you know what I mean?
It's
Like,
true.
dude, if you don't turn my YouTube back on, I'm gonna fuck shit up.
What was
That's
his,
all I
my
got.
whole thing, what was his YouTube
It's
channel?
just
Did you?
YouTube. You know
I
what I
didn't
mean?
even get
Like,
into it.
They didn't really get into
He
it.
probably gave fucking cartoon reviews. I don't know.
He was just mad that,
Who knows?
was he too explicit? Like, why'd they shut him down? But he just,
Doesn't
law,
matter.
doesn't matter. They shut him down. He's like, you know what, pack up. Hey, honey, I gotta go. I'm taking the baseball bats. I'm
I'll
on
be
my
there in a
way.
week.
I'm
I'm just
on my
saying,
way
there might
to.
be an epidemic going
Like
on.
you said,
Guys are
keeping that rage going, that's a skill right there. That really is.
I mean, it's like the same thing. What about this week with Conor McGregor? Did you see what happened with him?
Yeah.
And he went. The guy was filming on the phone. He walked up to him, took his phone. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
But you want to?
I'm sorry,
tweet
dude.
was even-
and the
his
guy,
tweet was
the
even better.
best was the guy. The guy was scared shitless. He was like, "Well, he
Did you
said he's
see
a
the
weapon.
guy?
He's a weapon."
The guy had it coming, man. I mean, he was ridiculous. Like, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I know.
I know.
And they
He
said,
took my phone.
and then he took the phone and he did the strut back to.
After you smash it and kick
Well, he was wearing like a romper,
Yeah.
fucking. You know, he had his man purse, his Merce on. He was like, as soon as you saw it, you're like, if it was any normal
It
guy,
was
you'd be
five
like,
in
what
the-
the
it was
fuck's wrong
five
with
in the-
Connor?
Yeah.
But then it happened to that guy. You're like, oh, it's, you know.
He's
Yeah.
5 in the morning. This guy claims he doesn't drink alcohol, doesn't do drugs. Yeah, he's out at 5 a.m.
Yeah, right.
videotaping Conor McGregor singing some song or whatever it is, and he just once you first heard about him, like, oh man, Conor, what'd you do to some kid or whatever? And then you see the guy, it's like, no, I'm sorry, that's hilarious, hilarious. The guy was ridiculous,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. I mean, Fame might be getting a little bit to Connor. I mean, he's got the whole world by the balls.
Yeah, he does.
He just snaps and nobody cares anymore.
He snaps and makes him more money.
Yeah,
He's, you know what I'm saying?
he's getting himself publicity.
Because right now, his big thing, forget about fighting, is his fucking, proper vodka. Or
Yeah.
proper whiskey.
Whiskey.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
A guy like that
He's
shouldn't
got
be
to
selling
drink,
whiskey.
man. He's got to promote. He has a lot of drinking to do. He's doing a great job.
Yeah.
He's doing a great job.
Yeah, he's not. You don't want like a really calm.
No.
You want, that's the savage you want promoting.
Calm.
Exactly. You know
Your
how much whiskey
alcohol.
he's selling right now?
Calm Connor.
Should we just keep this going? Speaking of savage, did you hear about the delivery driver that dipped his balls in the salsa before he delivered it?
Sweet, man.
I don't know. Just people are just losing their mind.
This one I heard.
All right, so
Vegas.
I'm
What
gonna-
happened with this guy? Because you used to deliver. So what?
He was out of
Have you ever
delivery.
done anything like that?
No, no.
Never thought about it.
I mean,
Ah,
yeah,
too
yes,
long of a
yes.
pause, Too long of a pause.
Yes.
Yep.
You know, I had some weird experiences. I will say that, like a
Right.
couple weird ones. Like I think I've told you before. Like there was a couple times. I remember I walked into a house and there was 3 people. There was the wife and 2 dudes. I guess it was wife and the husband and another guy, and they're all just sitting in the living room watching porn. When I walk in with the pizza, and they acted like nothing was a big deal. Like she came in, paid, and they're just sitting there. And I'm like, all I hear is. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like.
Thanks, you were starving. All right,
The worst one I had was there was. I mean, I'm
No
pretty.
napkins needed.
I'm pretty sure I delivered to a hooker at some like motel in Groton at one
Oh,
point.
sure.
Sure.
Yeah,
And
that's-
and then there was one apartment that there
Wasn't
was this
the
guy that would come to the door and he was in a wheelchair, and I felt bad for him, but at the same time I'm not sure what the hell his deal was. And you give him the pizza, you make it come in, get the pizza, and I remember he was like, I was like, oh, I told him the amount of money or whatever, and I turned around, and he was like, oh, I gotta go in the drawer and get the money, and I turn around, and he's got his pants are down, so I was like freaked out. I'm like, you know what? I was like, it's on us. I'm out, and I just walked out. I never delivered there again. That was the worst one,
this
but
guy's dipping his balls in
this
salsa.
guy was probably pissed off about
How did
something.
he get caught? How the fuck?
I think he admitted it.
Then he had to go to court, and he was laughing about it, and the judge just reamed him out. Like, you think this is funny, sir? Well,
I mean, it's kind of funny.
I mean, I put my balls in salsa, man. Yeah, it's funny. It's fucking hilarious.
I mean, you guys work in the pizza business. When people piss you off, and do you want to spit in their food?
Never.
No.
Never.
Okay.
You can't do that.
I know you can't, but I'm saying this is what someone pissed him off, so he dipped his balls in
You
the
should
sauce.
start keeping an eye on these drivers, man. Jesus Christ.
We uphold. We have high standards.
You got the #1 delivery in the paper there, so you guys are.
Did we win that?
Did you win?
No.
No.
We've won it before, so maybe we will.
So maybe you got high standards for delivery there,
Our
but
delivery drivers, yeah, it's rigorous screening.
no ball dipping allowed.
Absolutely not. We do, full background checks on any type of tampering with food. and whatnot.
Savages, nutcases, and then there's on the spot Scott. I mean, he decides to cut a sleeve off for
He's wearing a sock on his head.
to be Baker Mayfield tonight. For those that are watching,
Is it because of the Odell Beckham trade?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Paying homage to Odell,
Yes.
going to Cleveland.
Yes.
Does this bother you
No.
that Odell's on Cleveland?
I don't
Cleveland
care.
looks good.
they could be a
They-
threat.
They've done well
Do
in
they
free
scare? Wait,
agency
do they,
so far.
they scare you at all?
No. I mean, it's the off season. You see Bill sunbathing.
Where is he?
Like a
Barbados?
Yeah. He's living the dream.
He is.
Yeah.
You should be.
You think he cares?
He looks like a whale.
They signed. They had their first signing today.
Who did they sign today?
Brandon Bolden.
The
Yeah.
guy from Miami? The guy
Yeah.
that burned you guys?
Other than that,
They
they
didn't
just
like
did,
that.
other than that they did re-signs. They
Jesus
just
Christ.
re-signed people.
Well,
I
they
mean,
got
They
Bennett.
brought back people from. Well, Bennett's a trade. That's not a sign.
Yeah, you're right.
So
Did
I'm
they
just
lose
saying.
anybody of
We
significance?
lost Flowers to Detroit. They lost
Flowers got
Trent
paid.
Brown. Trent
Yeah.
Brown got paid and went to Oakland. He's the #1
He's
Mr.
the
Corner?
highest paid.
Rowe?
highest paid
Eric
offensive.
Rowe, he was. He went to Miami. He's not bad.
Okay.
I mean, he's always hurt. That's his problem. But
He's injured.
no, he had a good. What was it, 2 years ago against Atlanta in the Super Bowl? He
We
played
lost
great.
Cordell
He played
Patterson.
great. He was actually the one that covered Julio Jones in that Super Bowl. So when he's healthy and on point, he's great. It's just keeping him that way. So he could be a lockdown too if you want.
So before the big news, let's just throw in Bills got Cole Beasley. Teddy Bridgewater decided that he did not want to be a starter. He's going to stay with.
That's
That's
not
not
done
done?
yet.
That's
No,
not done
he's
yet.
Joe,
possibly.
Okay.
talk a little bit about like how much these guys are getting though. I feel like they're all
The
getting
contracts are-
pretty good fucking money, right?
Yeah.
So the guaranteed money, because the contracts are what they are, But I mean, Flowers got 5 years for what, $85 million.
Yeah.
Landon Collins got paid.
50, 55 million.
Can I
You're
bring
right.
Can I bring something up then?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I mean, to me, immediately it says to me like, did the sacrifices that, let's say, it started with Kaepernick, right? And then down to Le'Veon's and Antonio Brown, the sacrifices that they made help the players.
Well, let's see.
get better
Antonio
salaries.
Brown
I
won.
would say
Antonio Brown won outright. I'm talking
Yes.
Le'Veon
about
Bell lost.
It's a little different now. Antonio Brown was under contract. He forced his way out.
As a free agent.
Right.
Well, he turned himself into a free agent.
That's what I'm
which is
saying.
insane.
His story is completely
Yeah.
different. I mean, he forced himself out of
He
there.
dyed his mustache. I mean,
But it's
possible.
still no.
For
it's-
him, it worked out.
But it still
He
goes
got
under.
his money,
It still
he got-
goes under the category. Like he's helping the players and with leverage with the players.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's a big
That's
leverage
it's
move.
unprecedented what Antonio Brown did.
Right.
And then what Le'Veon Bell did is unprecedented. But for him,
He lost.
you can argue that it didn't work out that well for him. I mean, he took the whole year off.
14.5 he missed.
And all he had to do was
only
show.
got-
And remember,
Show
all he had
up.
to do was show
Show
up
up.
last year, and he had
He
that
could've
14.
faked the injury,
And he could have
could've done
faked an
whatever.
injury and not played, and he would have gotten his $14 million. And
So
he
he
passed
did-
on
But
that.
I'm saying the fact that he lost a little bit, though,
Right.
But the fact that
He
was willing
lost,
to
then he
show-
ended up with the
when
Jets.
He's willing to show. I'm a top running back in the league, and I'm willing to sit out.
Right.
Does that scare owners into thinking like, well, maybe, you know what I mean? You don't want to cause. It takes one fucking guy to set a trend, right? And these guys are all talking.
I think in football, I think in baseball, which we'll talk about.
Do you think, John, bringing that up, I'm just saying, do you think it worked out for him? For Le'Veon? Because the
No,
contract,
I
the
don't know that
contract
it
he-
worked out for him, but I think it may have worked out for other
the long
players.
run going forward.
Yeah, going forward.
So you're saying like players like in college, like with Joey Bosa doing and stuff, like you're gonna have like that rookie guy. I could see it for more for like rookies, all right?
Mhm.
So they sign the rookie deal, they have that great first year, and the second year they're like, fuck it, gonna sit out. I can see it working for the younger players, but
Sure.
for somebody that has been in the league, you know, for a span of time who has shown what they can do, then it's almost like, all right, here's your cap.
We're
hit.
gonna replace
We're
you.
gonna replace you
Right.
because it's almost the unknown with the rookies compared to.
That's
I mean, it could be. I don't
and
know.
That will probably scare the owners. If the young players start doing like what you just said,
Yeah.
if they start taking precedent and see like Le'Veon sat as a 26-year-old in his prime,
Yeah.
Right.
and he got his contract. He still got a good contract,
But he didn't get what he
just
could have
Just
got.
about the
He-
same as what he
he
had
would've
in
got-
Pittsburgh, right?
Pretty much the
Yes.
same, minus the year.
Well, it's not completely guaranteed. I thought.
30
33
up front.
I mean,
with
yeah.
the
35.
most
That's a
ever,
lot.
most ever is what's his name from L.A. Why can't I think? Who just played in the Super Bowl for the
Gurley?
Rams? Gurley. He's 42.5, and then it goes 36 for AP when he was in his prime in 2013 or whatever.
So
And
he
then-
got his.
I mean,
money.
he's around there, but I mean,
I don't know what he was
He
thinking.
said he
Well,
said
I'm not
100
sure.
million. He was going
Right.
to be the trend
He
setter.
was looking-
He was
right.
looking for the 50 million guaranteed.
Right.
Could he have got that if he played? I don't know. I don't think so because you see the Kareem
Probably
Hunts.
not.
Would he
you see all
have
these
ended up on a
rookies.
better
Who knows?
team
He
than the
might have ended
Jets
up
if
on
he
a fucking
played?
Stretcher too. He's a year. He didn't get hit.
True.
And he dropped his album right before
Yeah.
he signed his
Le'Veon?
contract.
Yeah, he did.
It's not very
That's why I
good.
waited.
I think he dropped
Swear
his
to God.
album, then he signs with the Jets. So maybe he took the year off just to work on his album.
Well, you keep saying about him signing with the Jets. I disagree with you. For teams to sign
He didn't
these
get banged
type
up
of
for a year.
players,
That's 400. That's 400 touches that he didn't have to do last year.
Right.
You know, he's still 27.
Yeah.
He's still
He's working on his post-football career.
working on his
He's
full.
a rapper.
He's
right?
a rapper,
Yeah, he's
and he
clearly
claims
talented.
his album is fire. You gotta listen to it.
FYRE, just like the fucking.
Just.
Have you heard it?
fire like
I
that.
haven't heard it
the
yet.
Music
no.
festival.
It's a great festival.
But
yeah.
it's interesting. And then he signs his contract. They got a solid week.
No,
And
so
you were gonna say you don't.
I disagree with Joe. Joe keeps saying the Jets and this. If you look at every team that's signing somebody, they're bottom tier. You know, it's the 49ers, it's the Bills, it's the Jets. All the teams that are signing a huge amount.
Well, they have cap space.
They have cap
That's
space.
true.
So that's what you're going to get. You're always going to get the teams that are trying to make the splash or trying to rebuild their team or trying to sell tickets are the ones that are going to sign Le'Veon Bells. Or if AB became a free agent, Raiders, that's what happened. So, I mean, that's what we're stuck with and stuff right now.
The teams with money are spending it. I mean,
Yeah,
you're seeing it.
Because
Across
you have
the
to,
board.
because the following year, if you don't, I think you almost take like a hit or something like that.
You got to reach a floor. You
Yeah.
got to spend a certain
Yeah.
amount on your team. You can't just pocket all the money.
Yeah.
Like,
And they're spending it.
I like Earl Thomas going to Baltimore. Even though I hate Baltimore, I think it's a good fit for him.
Yeah,
He's
that
a
makes
good
sense.
that's a personality.
It's a personality. He fits Baltimore. I mean, everybody said Dallas because he
And
went
then
to
Mosley
Texas.
went to the Jets.
Yeah.
They got him too. I forgot about that.
Yeah, there was a lot of action in the NFL
Just in the last 2 days.
Yeah.
In the last week and then 2 days.
I was
Yeah.
ready to talk about baseball today. And it's just like, boom.
It's funny because we were
Oh.
like, this is going to be a big baseball episode, but it's like with all the movement in the NFL, like we had to touch up on it.
Yeah.
Now, so I know we talked, and we had a caller. I know we talked about Odell. Now, you think that the Giants knew when they went and signed him, all right, we're going to sign him so that way we can trade him this offseason? You think that was the plan?
I don't know. I don't think it was the
Plan.
I don't think it was the initial plan, but I
But
do
it got
think
to
I
the
think
point.
it was at the point where look, let's sign this contract so we can trade him to a team that will have his rights for 4 years. It's not going to be like he's on his last year where it's much harder to trade somebody knowing they could walk.
Especially a guy like that.
Right, knowing they could walk. But if he's signed, he's locked up, and the talent's there, man. You say Odell is a head case and he's this and that, but the numbers are the numbers. I mean,
He's
the
great.
numbers he's put up his first 5 years, you can match him up with the best of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're looking at it that way. Is he a cancer in the locker room? He could be. I mean, it didn't work out in New York.
Well, here's the thing. What's the last team to win with a star wide receiver like that? That's what I have to say. When Giants fans get pissed off and they say, "Hey man, that was our guy. He was Mr. New York. He was our best quarterback last year and stuff." Well, you guys aren't going to win it in the near future. It's probably 3-4 years from now that they're already rebuilding. So you're going to keep him, get him unsatisfied and stuff. When it's already proven, even teams that are great, who have a great, star wide receiver, don't win. It's just the facts. Like AB, OBJ. Even when Terrell Owens was around and stuff,
Pittsburgh won
man.
a Super Bowl.
Yeah, didn't AB win one?
There goes your stupid
No,
argument.
Yeah.
he wasn't. Was he on the team back then?
I don't know. He might have
They
been
won a
rookie.
Super Bowl.
Wasn't he a rookie?
No, he wasn't on the team then.
He wasn't on the team when he won the
No.
Super Bowl?
Yeah.
We got to
No,
look that
he
up.
wasn't. And what's his, Santonio Holmes. So you guys get, check your facts. Thanks.
Well played.
Santonio
Wow.
Holmes, he got traded to the Jets like 2 years later. So just saying.
That's the only time they.
Against Arizona, he made the catch. Remember in the back of the
I
end
do
zone?
remember
No,
that.
you don't. What? I'm right. Yep. All right.
Wow. You
Scott
got,
might be right.
you
man.
got told.
I got told.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well,
Tell me why you're mad.
speaking of all like young players in the NFL and making money and doing this and that, I think that could roll into to our next guest, right?
We have a guest tonight on House Rules, fantasy baseball expert, would I
Oh.
say?
Not even close.
Bring your mic. There you go.
Not even close.
Not even close, but you run a fantasy. You're Billy, last name Kane.
Yep. So
Billy Kane's in the house.
Yeah, so we do a couple things, but yeah, I'm the commissioner of John's League, HBO. This is on its 20th year.
20th year.
What did you call it
20
before that?
years.
John's?
Well, the league I'm in, trust me, it's not my league.
Oh, it's not your league.
I-
You're
I-
the commissioner. That's your
but,
league.
hey, the 18 owners, we all, that's all our league.
Oh, okay.
That's us.
Nobody lost more games than me last year.
This is true.
Nobody tanked as successfully.
Yeah, but that was part of your process last year. You were trying to.
There's
sell
no doubt
out.
about it.
Right.
There's no doubt
We
about
just
it.
talked
The
about it.
Dolphins should hire Johnny.
Well, listen.
If the Dolphins hired Johnny, you get your
Oh,
wish.
Johnny
I
probably
did-
looked
no,
at
I
his
did.
team and saw he wasn't going to go
I
anywhere.
didn't do
so
what
he
the
maxed him.
Dolphins do.
No.
I did what like the Sixers did.
Yeah.
I tanked for fucking 2 years. Well, tanked.
The process.
You know,
The process.
I
Went on
went.
vacation.
I did it, and I went on vacation.
Johnny
We
created the
discussed
process before it was actual
Yeah.
thing.
He's
He
like,
was
I
a
got
good-
a few good players. Let me sell them all off.
Of course you did
Get
that.
some good draft. Yeah, all
it.
right.
So anyway, enough about
Modest guy.
Enough. Yeah,
He's got a big one, though. You got a big guy coming.
I got Vladdy Jr.
You do.
Well, yeah,
That's
he
a
got
good one.
hurt though.
Ah, that injury. It's like,
I don't
I
think.
don't think he's injured.
You don't-
It's
I
Oh,
agree.
it's
I
a
think
money-
he got sent
it's a
down.
money thing.
Yeah.
They're going to set him down. That way the fans
It's all
can
about
beg
money.
for him to come up.
It's all about
Agreed. I agree
That's
with you 100%.
exactly. They did it with Chris
That's right.
Bryant.
Yeah, you're right.
A couple years ago.
How long does he
It's
have
easier.
to? How long does he have to
12.
stay down before he can come up and they have that extra year?
3 weeks.
He can come up like,
I think
yeah.
it's May
Well, with the
Yeah,
10,
May.
with the 10 day
May
with the
1st,
10-day DL, like they have the option to renew it. It's not like if you put him on the 60-day or the 30-day, they have to stay. With the 10-day,
You can go
He-
another 10.
another 10, another
Yeah.
10. He could do a rehab. It's that mystery
I
like.
got you.
So
Day
anyway,
to
the
day.
point being, like, I got Vlad 2 years ago. It's just to give you an idea of like what this league and how in depth it is. I got him 2 years ago, and he was a top prospect. He was probably top 10, 20 at that time. But Billy can give you a little more insight, like how in depth this fucking league gets in.
You're talking 18 teams, 30-man rosters on each team. So we got guys like, okay, if you want to talk about Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper was on somebody's roster at 16 years old.
That's crazy.
So the major outlets, these guys are digging deep. There's no like for instance, Johnny didn't have too many major leaguers on his roster last year, so there's no restrictions in our league as far as you obviously have to start the minimum amount of guys, but if he wants to hold 10 extra minor leaguers, that's his prerogative. But our thing is it's really big because you're talking auction style. So we go into the year. Johnny tanked last year, right? So he won 37 games, the lowest by far. I mean, the next guy who I think won 70-something games. So that just shows you how bad John was last year. John was terrible.
Terrible.
Hey,
John almost
You
got
gotta-
voted out.
I did. Yeah, it was a
Wait,
lot.
wait, you voted out?
You pissed
yes.
people off.
That's a lot of people.
You can get, you,
Really?
And I
I didn't know this, Billy.
oh yes,
You got it.
there's a lot of drama.
Because I just
in
joined
baseball.
this league this year. I just joined, so I was kind of just sitting back and kind of.
Oh, but you caught a glimpse.
I caught a glimpse.
Caught a glimpse.
This is the most serious I've ever seen. I like that.
Listen,
I like that it's like that. Though.
This league has started. Listen, 19 years ago. So this is the 20th year. You know, doctors, lawyers, corrupt lawyers. we criminals.
Yeah.
Criminal.
Drunks. I mean, we got some serious guys that got some
It's
mental
the full
issues.
spectrum.
Oh, so we're gonna fit right in.
Oh, absolutely,
All right, perfect.
absolutely. Pass me another beer. But no, you're talking. This year, what the highest guy went? Verlander, $75. The commissioner got him for.
I said over under.
Listen, I was prepared to pay $100. So
I know you were.
So our league is pretty different than a Yahoo league. You're talking, it's a full keeper league. So at the end of the year, you make cuts. You want to keep the guy
basically on salary.
based on salary, right?
Right.
So you got everybody's salary goes up by 10%.
Mhm.
You choose to keep the guy. If not, throw him back into the pot. And then when it comes down to auction day, it's who wants that guy more.
And
talking
luxury taxes come into play.
Luxury
obviously,
tax, yeah.
I think that's
every
awesome.
dollar,
It's
you
so
spend,
fit-
you spend.
Yeah.
But anything over $200, luxury tax starts to come into play. And every
By the way, they created that luxury tax for me because I just would spend.
Really?
So I take your guys in the first couple of years. Randy Johnson, you paid too much for him. At the end of the year, you're trying to get rid of him mid-season. I was taking everybody's salaries. Give them to me. I don't care. We'll add it up. And then obviously I won the championships. I'm like, oh, this is easy. So if I just take everybody's high salaries, I'm going to win money.
And
Duh.
there's
Yeah.
your salary. And there's your
So then they
restriction.
came up with a restriction. So every
But you know
there's a
what?
bumps.
That makes sense
does.
because you get penalized quite a bit if you go over the 300 threshold.
you're
Yeah.
paying
you
over
start,
$700 something for your team.
Oh yeah. So the least expensive team we've ever had was $84.
Oh,
The
wow.
most expensive team we ever had was $17.50.
so it can be all over the place.
It can be all.
You were the 17.
I was the $17.50.
Yeah.
I lost that year. By the way.
He's the Yankees fan,
Oh,
bro.
yeah.
He knows you got to spend.
Now-
George Steinbrenner, bring it.
1750.
Yeah,
What
he
was
knows.
you? What were you last year?
Oh gosh.
Johnny managed to have a garbage team
He's
and
a
spend a
petty.
lot
I
of
still
money.
paid like $200.
Here's the problem. He still pays over the amount, and he tanks. Like, what are you doing?
He's trying to figure out the proper way to tank.
The process.
He just said,
Right.
"I'll sell more pizzas." Is what it
Right.
is.
Yeah.
Andrews paid for that team last year.
Andrews did.
But I tell you
Andrews
what,
took a hit last year.
this year, because obviously I was in the auction with you guys, and you seem to do pretty well.
I think I did very well.
You got a lot of guys you're targeting. You spend a little money, and you try.
Yeah.
So now that you're new into it, are you in the tanking process or no?
We pick up a team. So the team I'm with Bruce is obviously it's looking at some of the other teams, the teams that have spent some money. We're probably not competing for anything this year, but at the same time, it's not a garbage team. We have some players on the team. We got George Springer. We got some
Oh,
guys.
definitely.
Yeah, there's some guys on the team.
Grays, you got
Yeah, I
Tristan
think-
McKenzie, young kid.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head. Yeah.
There's a couple of young guys out there that we got. So I think this year it's more of for us, it's more of a feel out process to kind of see how the league is played and see how it kind of goes, and then we'll see if we're going to be buyers or sellers at some point.
Yeah.
And I think that's the big key is to figuring out where you're at
Exactly.
and be able to make that move. You
Right.
know what I mean? Because you got a lot of young guys because some of your trades. So
Absolutely.
some big guys.
And I remember we had that conversation a long time ago.
Right.
Before you even really, you knew me, but you didn't because we made a
Yeah.
few deals and we kind of went back and forth, and then you kind of were like, listen, you're either rebuilding or you're
Right. You can't be
figure it
the
out.
or trying to
Don't
win.
fucking play on that. I'll never forget that. He gave me really good advice. He's like, if you play on the fucking fence, trust me, all the guys that ever fucking do it, and and you look at it too. Professional sports, we're talking about the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Play on the fucking fence. You
Don't
wanna
play on the
linger
fence,
around.
man.
You don't want to make the playoffs, but you want to.
Yeah, you're
It's
barely
the
making
same
it, or
thing.
you're
Yeah.
just
Yeah, so-
same thing in this.
So
Yeah.
how did you take over? Now you're commissioner. Is this your first year or last
This will
second?
be the third year.
Third year. How did you become
It was
commissioner?
a controversial, we won't call it a coup. No.
Oh, there's things going on in this league, man.
Oh, okay.
There's things.
So, like, did you want to be commissioner, or you just got, like, put in charge of it?
No, I think I was the treasurer, so I became commissioner because we
He was in management to begin
Are
with.
you like the Roger Goodell type commissioner? Or
No, I'm like Trump.
Oh,
Give it to him.
Trump,
Send
alright.
it in.
Mhm.
Tell him how it
Building
Yeah,
is.
Billy's,
Oh, I'm building that wall. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
I'll let everybody
Billy
know.
will motherfuck you.
Absolutely.
Alright.
Absolutely.
That's what I noticed.
You
Just
need
in being
that.
in that
You
room,
need
it's
that.
like, you know what? You can go fuck yourself or whatever, but if there's
Not up in here.
Listen,
not
you're-
up in here.
You're talking about a baseball league that's 365 days a year. These dudes are, no joke, texting you, calling you, Christmas Day, day before like Thanksgiving,
This is-
holidays. They're like, hey, you're looking to move this guy? What? I'm not looking to move
Joe
this guy.
doesn't
I
have a
got stuff
job.
to
This
do."
has been a great
Would have probably
like
been a
thing
good
for
league
him.
kid.
Yeah.
Especially if you like to go back and forth, stand your ground on the post.
Would I be the youngest guy in the league?
Yeah.
By far.
Stay away.
I would be the youngest guy in the league if
Not
I
even
joined.
close. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
John take the
John's
I'm
the youngest guy in the
I'm
league.
almost 40 now.
Jesus.
I know, I look alright.
You look great.
Tremendous.
No, we actually
It's the
had
water.
we had a guy. We had a guy.
It's like Greek water.
The guy's kid that.
Well, Spina Cupida.
Yeah, well, this guy, I can't mention names, but he made it. The guy who wrote the rules actually, made an illegal transaction, and because he's a ball buster and he's a dictator, and everybody called him out. And actually, Johnny he benefited from the Schwarber deal.
Yeah.
Guy had the
The infamous Schwarber
in
game.
our league. So
Schwarbergate.
unlike
Yeah,
you,
Schwarbergate. Schwarbergate was real. I caught it,
It
this
was
year.
real.
I'm like,
it was
as soon as the name came up, I'm like, something bad happened with Schwarber.
And then you looked over and they're all like
quiet
looking
online.
at your
Yeah,
brother and
everyone's
you're
just
like,
like-
oh shit, that's not my brother. He didn't do that, did he?
But you want to know what? I don't know if you really even want to get into it anymore, but there was a lot of controversy and like we got a lot of competitive motherfuckers in this.
All
It's
over-
big money. Our pot's
Dude,
$9,000 this year.
Over
All
big
over
money.
Kyle Schwarber. Correct?
But it's principle too.
It's
Yeah,
principle.
no, it's not just about the name, man.
But
It's-
either way, I think it's water under the bridge now.
Oh, yeah,
which
yeah.
I think
Yeah,
is
things are
which
going
I
good.
think is good. And right now, state of affairs, things are going pretty well.
Yeah, absolutely.
until this show.
This is true.
Why, is everybody that's in this league listen?
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? I'm sure we all support Johnny.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I'll try to stay on it. I'll try to stay. I'm going to Greece for 3 weeks this year, so.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, is that why you?
No.
You better give somebody your
You're gonna
password.
get, oh, you're gonna put me in charge. This could be my
By
You know what? It
stepping up
it
there.
is during the All-Star break period, so you get that little, you have a little,
Okay.
at least that 1 week.
Travel days.
Yeah,
I could see him not coming back though. He could give me his pass for 3 weeks, turn into
that's true. Too.
3 years.
Yeah,
What happened to Yanni?
that is
Yeah,
also correct.
he never came back.
Yeah, I wouldn't fucking mind. Yeah, I know some people out there. But anyways, let's get into a little bit about what you do, Billy. You've also been a head coach of like Showcase Baseball, one of the premier AAU teams in
Yep.
Connecticut,
Yep.
which kind of ties into fantasy baseball that we're talking about because you're seeing firsthand a lot of these young players that are choosing to play baseball year round, right? 100 and some odd games a year, whatever it is, the best of the best, and like what that's doing to the level of talent. These kids playing competition, at a young age, so many games, high pressure games. You're seeing it firsthand. Share that with us a little bit.
Yeah, so basically, how to hit off on that is I started my program in 2005 around here, and I'm just a small little fish. My idea was to collect the talent around here, and really bring them to a place where baseball really happens, and that's down south. So basically, our premier events are happening in Georgia, East Cobb baseball down there, and Fort Myers. Perfect game. Runs the largest tournaments in the entire country. You're talking, people from the Dominican teams from Puerto Rico, the best of the best kids. And I think that misconception of, and you'll hear a lot from old school guys and old school coaches, a lot of high school coaches around here. You gotta play multiple sports because that's what's best for Johnny. He's got to play this, he's got to play that, he's got to get a mix so he doesn't get burnt out. Not for nothing, but that's so false. I mean, those kids, it's a business down south, and when you bring those kids down there, these kids are competing 12 months out of the year. How can we up here in Connecticut? Right? How can we compete with that?
You can't.
We can't.
4
Right?
months,
Listen,
5 months.
listen.
It's
I coach high school baseball.
simple
We're
math.
not going to get on that field until
Right.
second week of April. If you're lucky.
If you're lucky.
If you're lucky.
Now it's more like the second week of May.
Yeah.
With the weather around here.
And these kids have already started. I mean, look at so I down there, a different world. You're talking kids at 15 years old throwing 95, and you're talking in front of stadiums, 30 scouts.
No shit.
30 scouts.
50. That's
So-
a lot of pressure.
So we bring my team down there, local kids from Stonington, from wherever, right?
Mhm.
And I think the idea is putting them in that setting so they understand what this is baseball. What you got up there is nothing. Being able to compete with these kids down south, I mean, that's what brings in the money. I mean, that's why it goes back to, all right, we're gonna train. How are we gonna train? What are we gonna do? You're in this program. You're in that program. Bring a story up. 2010, I merged with a team out of New York City. Every kid went D1 or D2. And some of the D2 programs are better than the D1 programs in many cases, and that's a big misconception as well, too. But there's a kid who batted 7th for us, which is, his name's Harrison Bader. He signed with Pittsburgh to go to college there, and then transferred to Florida. And you're talking about a kid who batted 7th for our team. And he was, average size, but his dad had access to people in New York City.
Yeah.
Trainers. And you're talking about regimented, getting up, having somebody prepare meals for you. His whole his day was detailed for him.
Mm-hmm.
7 days a week.
Is that what, at 16, 17?
Oh, yeah.
So his
Yeah.
dad saw the writing on the wall or
Yeah.
saw a chance.
Dad saw a chance, and
That's
Dad
how
put
it
the
is
money
now.
behind it. Nothing. Then that's the big thing around here is, everybody wants their kid, and that dream is, oh, can I get him here? Can I get him there? Oh, Johnny's got a great swing. Okay, well, how much effort are you going to put in to get him to that level? And then some people say, okay, you're stepping over. You're doing too much.
Yeah.
The kid has to want it. You know what I mean? I think
For
that's
sure.
the biggest thing
I
around
agree,
here.
yeah.
I mean, you're talking. I have a kid actually from Waterford, James and Mello, who ended up going to WestCon. Forget what that, why he chose that school. But in any case, there's a kid who used to call me up on snow days. I'm talking like 7 to plus inches of snow, and he's wanting to help shovel out the
Batting cage.
the walkways so he can, if I'll throw to him afterwards because my family owns Renegade.
Oh, okay.
Up there. Okay, so in
Wow.
Waterford, I got 17 acres up there. So that's a big area to plow out. Got to make sure the members of this kid's wanting to come up there and have his dad drop him off and shovel so that I'll throw to him after we're done.
Yeah,
That's dedication. Where the rest of the kids, they're playing Xbox.
sure.
This
Yeah,
kid's
you don't
out there
see that a
shoveling,
lot.
so I'll
There-
throw.
There's the difference.
You don't teach that.
Huge
Yeah,
difference.
there's
Huge
the difference.
And what knocked him was height. You can't. Those are things you can't teach. You can't teach height. You can't,
Right.
You were saying earlier you have you coach that's on the Diamondbacks. Was that what you were saying?
No, so that Harrison Bader kid from New
Yep.
York City, he ended up going all 3 levels after
Yep.
he got out of college. He went from A, AA, AAA, and made the majors all in the same year at 22.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cardinals.
Cardinals.
And now he's
Center
starting
field.
center field for the
Starting
Cardinals.
He's actually,
Wow.
he's actually
traded
a
him to
decent
Johnny,
pick.
by the
He's a
way.
decent pick right now.
He's a decent
Correct.
little sleeper guy.
He's like a
He's a
7th or
late
8th round. Yeah.
Is that right?
Hey, the kid is fast. He's gonna steal. He
Yeah.
can steal. If he gets full time playing time, he's got 35
He has
plus
that-
He's
steals.
coming back.
He has the Cardinal system, which is great, which
Yeah.
everybody
Yeah.
loves.
Yeah.
And then he has that he's young and the mystique of what he can be. That's the way I'm
Potential.
looking at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the potential. When every time I do a draft, I'm like, all right, why does this kid keep going? And 8, 9, 10. I'm like, that's why.
Yeah, he's kind of like the old school of like B.J. Upton type player.
Okay.
He could probably put in 10 to 15 home runs, but he's going to steal 30 to 40. And if he gets enough playing time, maybe even 50 bases.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I feel like you're seeing that a lot. I feel like the steals and speed is becoming a bigger factor all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Right? It kind of went away. Now you got all these guys that are really, that
Well, the
can give you-
steroid era kind of brought things back down.
Was I with you that day and I hate to break it up, but when we were we watching MLB Network and we couldn't figure out who was the last guy to steal 70 bags?
Yeah.
Remember it was Jacoby Ellsbury.
I was shocked.
I was shocked too. But yeah, sorry to change it. I was
That-
just
that-
going.
Thanks for bringing him up.
So-
Waste of fucking
Oh,
time.
terrible. What a terrible.
Well,
What's he
because we
doing
were
right now?
we were
He's
going
got-
around thinking we're like Billy Hamilton.
They just want him to
Yeah,
go away.
That's a good guess.
Go away.
Yeah.
Yankees are loaded in the outfield. They don't need him on the team.
No.
So when you bring up speed, so down south, I mean, listen, it's a 60-yard dash everybody's competing for. So what happens when you enter these major tournaments? You'll have a home run derby, and you'll have a speed and agility type testing, and they'll put you up against all the top runners, and everybody takes their top speed. So that's why you see now everything is statistics. Okay, what's the velocity coming off the bat? What's the mile an hour that he's throwing from right field to home to home? Everything. It's all stats.
Hate that.
It's all stats, and some of it, in my opinion, is fake.
Exit velo.
Oh wow! And then they got these kids. You'll see them on. Some of these guys have channels on Instagram and all that stuff, right? And they'll post these kids throwing 100 miles an hour. They're running up to an L screen and firing the ball in there 7 feet away. I'm like, oh, he's 97 off the thing. Okay, yeah, he's running, and shooting it, and they're throwing it 5 feet. Yeah, it's 97 miles an hour. But, it's all pumping stats so that these kids can get college, hopefully.
I mean, at the same time, too, I've heard, I don't know what you think, but coaching, like you see with the Little League World Series, all they do is post, what they throw. Oh, they're hitting, they're at this level, but it's actually this in major leagues. And all these kids just focus on, hey, how fast can, and then at the end of the day, a lot of them blow their arms out because of that. Because all they do is focus on number, radar gun, radar, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, well, so out in those events when you have major players and major teams scouting you, obviously those kids are going to come in and want to throw gas. They're not. If you're left-handed, they're not looking at you unless you throw a minimum of 89 miles an hour to play college D1 ball. 89 is a lefty. You might squeak in there if you're 86 if you got a power curve, but for the most part, for righties, you got to throw 92 at minimum for a D1
92,
program.
93 is now.
That's not even
that's
getting
nothing.
There.
That
But you're
used to
talking,
be-
right? You're talking that as a freshman, though. Kids, not even fully developed, and he's trying to throw as hard as he can every time he gets into a tournament.
That's why Tommy John.
yeah, see?
Listen, happened to a local kid around here. He had 2 Tommy Johns, and then we can even go as another local guy is Jesse Hahn.
Yeah.
So you're talking Jesse.
When he was at Virginia
Well, I'm
Tech.
friends. Okay, so I remember being in a tournament because he when he was rehabbing with Tampa Bay, we were playing at Port Charlotte, is where the Rays have their single A team, and then he was rehabbing while he had a tournament on those fields, because that's what you're doing. You're playing all the marquee fields when you're down there, and that's the first thing he says. That coach just, what am I supposed to do? The guy throws me 133 pitches, and next time I come out, I'm throwing 146. I'm doing that 4 days later. And that's how do you. He's not looking out for Jesse's best interest.
He's looking out for wins.
Right, wins. That's what's going to.
So where do you find that medium ground when it comes to this stuff, without trying to burn the kids out, but at the same time trying to weed out who's who?
Well, they get in a lot of programs. Obviously everybody has their person that they go to. So we could say one guy says do this, one guy says do that. Down south those kids are just constantly training. So there's no such thing down south as
A break. Yeah.
a break. They're making those kids throw, and that's pretty.
You think that building up the arm strength?
Well, guys
at a
like
young age?
okay, so guys like the new age, like Trevor Bauer.
Mhm.
Okay.
I love it.
Did you see the
Kid's a
Trevor
beast.
Bauer where he was mic'd up?
No,
That was
no.
you got to watch it. That's
Fantastic.
excellent.
Really?
So he
'Cause he
believes-
did
believes
exactly what
he's
you're saying.
throwing a lot, right?
He's throwing and he goes, 93, that ain't gonna work, or like, you know what I mean? It's just interesting to hear the mind of a pitcher.
Yeah. So they go, it's like, especially for Bauer. So he's that old school teaching. He goes to some ranch down in Texas, and a place Clemens visited. Those type of guys, and they just believe in throwing. Because let's face it.
Build it up to break it down.
And I'm 42, so I can't go back to way back when. But let's be honest. I mean, those guys threw forever. Nolan Ryan, come on.
Nolan Ryan.
All those Seaver, all those guys.
I think that's why it makes you wonder now. Were they throwing with damage?
Well, I think now
I mean, they had to have just been pushing through the damage they had,
the sliders and
or
you know,
did they build up their strength so well that they didn't get injured? It's interesting.
Bill Lee used to say it all the time because he used to come down to like Washington Park and stuff and play. He's like, listen, he goes, it's not throwing every day. It's great. He goes, it's how you throw. He
Right.
goes, people
Mechanics.
the day after that you throw, it's just getting the arm motion stuff. He goes, kids get it and that they're firing. So I'm not saying he's right or wrong, but he believes in throwing every day. He just believes that, hey, when you're throwing a pen and stuff, you don't got a gun in there and stuff. Save that stuff for the mount.
Yeah.
But nowadays, as you're saying, the younger kids, you have the showcases.
They gotta
You're,
pressure.
how can you teach a kid when all they know is everything? Give it everything.
Right.
How can you tell them to, hey, now you got to tune it down? It's pretty tough, probably.
Right? Well, so now the big thing is the hit tracks. Okay, so I don't know if you ever heard of that. So
Hit tracks.
Yeah, hit tracks.
Is that like that's where they? Is that the
With a
Square box.
the square box on where they've?
It's pitch tracks.
That's
That's
track.
pitch track.
Well,
Sorry.
similar, I think. Okay, so it is a box that goes on the side of where you're
But
hitting.
where hitters have kicked
Place, yeah.
consecutively off of that pitcher.
No, well, so this is it's more in the
That's a good try.
That's a good answer.
I tried. I thought.
I don't know what it is, so I don't know. Did he get it?
So, all right. So it's a box. So let's say it's usually in facilities, baseball facilities. So you know you've got a pitcher machine and you got a screen up there, and now it records your velocity, how far the ball went. So now these kids are taking hacks. It's almost like a video game.
Trying to get it further.
Trying to get it further and further.
It's like a simulated golf thing.
Oh, similar, exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. So,
like that.
so that's your thing. Everybody's trying to get maximum effort because what you can do is like if you go to perfectgame.org, right? You can type in any player's name if you want to type Bryce Harper, whatever. It'll give you every stat that kid ever had, and it will tell you if he's a pitcher, how hard he's thrown, his maximum speed, 98 miles an hour. What his maximum speed is for his curveball, what his change of it. It'll give you every stat. So if you're a kid trying to compete, and listen, down there, it's nothing like here. It's absolutely nothing like here. You're talking, 20-man rosters. I'm lucky to get 12 kids together that all share the same common interest of trying to get somewhere.
Right.
Down there, I mean, they're paying $5,000 to $10,000 to compete on teams where they're not even sure they're going to be a starter. But listen, that's what you got to do if you're trying to be the best of the best and compete against those kids and get somewhere.
Yeah.
We all talk about it up here. Nobody wants to put that effort in up here. This New England is nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing compared to down south. And it doesn't mean people can't squeak through the cracks, but you got to be Harvey. You throw in 97 or you throw in 95, and they're going to come find you. Of course, those kids are the exception to the rule.
You got to clearly be like.
Right, but
you got to come
can
see
you
this.
get
Right.
room and develop guys that have pretty good talent, into.
But they need the push. They need
play.
more work. Yeah,
You got to compete.
And let's face it, up here, and again, there's no money to be made in college baseball sports.
Right.
I mean, there's no money there. I mean, college football's huge, right? 80 men, kids on the team, and you got scholarships everywhere. Baseball's 11 and a half scholarships for. So, and you can divide that up however you want for D1, but 11 and a half. I mean, you're talking. You probably got a 25. 30-man roster.
Right.
And half those kids aren't getting money, maybe academic money. But they're competing. We have to go down south to get in front of the scouts. The scouts aren't all coming to you.
Right.
Is there a scout here, a local guy? Okay, but you want to go down there and, you're talking about the Wake Forest, powerhouse of South Carolina. I mean, every major school goes down south. And like I was touching on earlier with you guys, Jupiter, that's the largest, tournament in the entire world. It's invite only, and you're talking 1,000, golf carts of scouts everywhere. It's like you can't even. They don't even let. Like if you're a parent, you don't get to go watch.
And that's why these players, so these kids, they're already used to this.
Yeah.
And that's why now, like you were saying earlier and stuff, we're seeing a surge of younger players going in the MLB, getting their chance and stuff. And in fantasy reasons, you're taking them early. You're taking the Acunas. You're taking the Vlad Juniors because guess what?
Right.
They're ready more because of these opportunities too.
Well, I mean,
So speaking of that, you guys got like some fantasy sleepers or breakout players for the fans that are doing fantasy drafts? I mean, I know it's different with your auction and your guys' draft because that's out, but something that.
So what are you looking for? So if you're doing a redraft, you're thinking of guys that are on the cusp, young guys that might produce this year?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right?
I'd go with that. I could throw a few.
Okay.
I mean, a few of them are going to be on my team. I might be biased, But I'll throw one guy. Victor Robles.
Oh, monster.
Monster.
For
What do I like
Washington?
about it? Not only do I like the kid's a 5'2".
He might get 70 steals this year.
He might get 70 steals. He played the kid is fucking hungry. He played a game, the split squad game I think they had. He played a game with one of the team, with one of the Washington teams, and then he told coach, "I want to go down and get at bats."
Went to the other game?
Went to the other
Wow.
game and he fucking played.
That's great.
You know what I'm
Got
saying?
I'm telling you, these kids are hungry.
How old is this kid?
Robles has been a top 5 prospect.
Who has insight like this? Come on now.
I mean, this is like
I think he'll be 19.
70
he's only
steals.
like 19 or 20 years old.
Is he going to be on the roster?
Yeah, he's
Oh,
a
he's-
starter.
He's the reason why I think they let Bryce go.
Him and Soto.
Soto.
They think that highly of him?
Well, they thought higher of
Yeah, he's been-
Robles.
yeah.
He got hurt last year,
Robles
right?
was above Juan Soto.
And then he got hurt.
Really?
Yeah, he was a higher prospect. You know, they were like 1-2, but Robles got hurt.
So both of these guys will be starting this year.
Oh, so that's
And Robles
Yeah.
is a center fielder.
Washington Nationals, I like what they did. They lost Bryce Harper, but I like what they
I actually think I know it's crazy to sound. I think they're a better team.
They might be a better team.
A lot of people are saying that.
Well,
Wow.
if you look at it, they,
Patrick Corbin is your
Yeah, he's-
3 start. Well, I mean, he'll probably be your 2
Two.
with Strasburg, but I mean, anyways.
So Victor Robles.
Robles, I'll throw out there. If you're looking for a guy that can produce, this year
Yeah.
quick, early, he's gonna get you out. He's gonna start center field. I don't know where he's gonna bat in that team. Like bat lead off on that.
Yeah.
For ninth or
Yeah.
or eighth.
But I'll throw. That'll be one guy I'll throw out
All
there.
right.
Billy?
Yeah, no, I mean,
it's
listen,
still rapid fire. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
quiet guy. I think Alex Reyes for St. Louis. I think he's going to be
You
the
love
next.
Reyes.
I think he's the next like Carlos Martinez.
He
for those
throws
guys. And they
one of the
produce,
easiest 98 miles an hour fastball.
but they produce pitchers. They've always been known to
Yeah,
produce
they
pitchers.
Is
do,
he
man.
starting
I'm
this
telling
year
you.
or?
Yeah, he should start. He was hurt. He's been hurt.
He's
Who's
been
the-
hurt. Like,
Who's
I
the
feel
other
like-
guy that Cardinals got? The guy that's hitting like 103. Oh shit.
Sooner?
No. You know what I'm talking about? They were using
The
him as
reliever,
the
the
reliever
reliever,
that
yeah.
they got.
Well, go ahead.
You go back,
Reyes,
sorry.
yeah.
No, I love Reyes. I love Reyes, and actually, I like your guy. I think you're gonna Urias. I think Urias will still. I think he'll be in the pen, but I think that second half, I think because they're gonna have injuries. There's always starting issues with those guys, but I think Urias gets a shot and he won't lose it.
So just say full names. So Julio Urias.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that's my
Yep.
second half.
I loved
I
him.
love pitching.
I
so-
loved
Yeah.
Julio
Jordan Hicks.
Urias, however you say it, Urias, since he came up. I mean, he was the teenager and stuff.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
he was Kershaw's replacement before Bueller was there. And
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
Like, the kid has great stuff. He just had an injury prone.
Yeah,
and
it's
he has the
unfortunate.
best pickoff move probably in the NL. I would say.
I think he just needs a chance to pitch.
Yeah.
I mean,
They have him as a reliever, but
Yeah,
I
no,
love
I
it.
think it's
I
like
was
second
thinking
half.
of Jordan
It's probably
Hicks.
Oh,
Jordan
okay.
Hicks?
Yeah,
Yeah.
not bad.
That
I'm
kid
not-
throws hard.
Yeah,
No?
he throws hard. I'm not a fan.
Alright.
Yeah.
No,
I don't know enough about Jordan Hicks.
no, not a big fan.
Who's he?
So-
What team's he
So
on?
there you go.
He's
St.
on
Louis.
St. Louis.
Is he a bullpen? Is he gonna?
Yeah, he was
Bullpen.
a kid bullpen guy. And he was
St.
hitting like
Louis,
103.
They keep bringing these kids out that film.
Let me tell you, there's some bullpens out there. I mean, Houston's bullpen, Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Yankees got
Jabba Chamberlain won.
Between the Yankees and Houston, those two top. Look, Tampa Bay is also, I think, got a pretty good bullpen. I was looking at that. They got the kid Alvarado,
Yeah.
lefty throwing like 96, 97. They got a few other.
It's a new
these
trend
guys
now,
are
man.
Flamethrowers with
You want
with
the
your
starter,
sliders
give you
breaking
5, and then go gas,
Spin rate,
close.
spin rate, right? Isn't that how Houston built their fucking
Yeah.
bullpen? And all these guys got these, high fucking spin rates, and
Right.
I don't even know much about it. But
Houston's stacked. They got a lot of guys that could come up. The Alvarez kid
My
is
God.
first base. You got
Derek
Kyle
Fisher.
Tucker.
Kyle Tucker,
They just got guys coming.
yeah.
I mean, by the way, back to AAU baseball. So George Springer, played for one of my good friends for Team Connecticut. Him and Matt Barnes were both teammates.
I remember when
Wow.
George Springer. Remember when they had it at Dodge Stadium?
Dodge Stadium,
They had
yeah.
like the whole tournament over there and stuff. One of my buddies, he played at Quinnipiac, and he says to this day, he's like, George Springer was the best player he's ever seen.
Yeah.
And he played against a lot of
Right.
guys that are in the pros, and
That was cool. Why didn't they do that again?
I don't know.
George
One of
Springer's
those
out of
things.
hell of a.
Dodd doesn't.
Another one of our
Yeah,
fans.
Oh, you guys got
Yeah,
George
George
Springer.
Springer.
You guys have adopted.
He has
Maybe
that.
We'll make some moves this year. Man.
He just gets hurt. Springer gets hurt. He always has that. He always
But
has that
come
Come
DL.
playoff time,
Yeah.
that kid's
Playoff time is great. I'm just
Yeah.
saying. I mean, I'm not
He
like
misses
you
some
guys
games.
in fantasy and stuff, but I like the guy that I don't have to check every.
But it's still
10
going,
days.
in my opinion, it still goes back to that kid competing and traveling the country, and that's all he wanted to do and do and do. That's that new era of
He's one
kids
of
that I think
those-
that are taking over.
Right.
They're going to take over, and they're going to get paid.
Yeah.
Let's face it, they're not paying guys anymore. The older guys, those guys are just sitting out there.
What were we just talking about? Adam Jones
Adam
just
Jones.
barely got signed. You know what I
He
mean?
signed a $3 million 1-year contract.
Oh,
For baseball, for a
Goodness.
fucking 10
His-
year over
his
10 years.
his homie's trying to sell us for $6 million, so maybe he's trying to get back some of that money.
Yeah,
I
I
don't know.
mean, it's crazy.
Carlos Gonzalez is sitting out there.
Yeah.
He got
Yeah.
a good job.
I mean,
that was 3-4
What's
years
his name?
ago. Yeah.
Dallas Keuchel, former Cy Young winner.
That was
sitting out
interesting. What the hell's going on with
That's-
Keuchel?
I think
He
he
got
might
the
have
wrong
an issue.
agent.
Who's his agent? Because they're holding out.
Boris?
Is he a Boris guy?
Yeah, you know what?
He
Yeah,
is
he
a
is.
Boris guy.
You promise, a 5-year, put your family away, set them up and stuff.
He'd be perfect in New York.
No, he would be, but you know what?
But you guys are right going back to that. All these younger guys, like what Washington's doing, bringing up the players that can come up this quick are actually hurting these guys. Like Adam Jones would have been signed earlier. Why the hell you got to sign him if you can bring up these kids that are ready to go that year?
That's what it is, and that's what it is, man.
It started with Jermaine Dye. I brought it up last year. I think this was 2011 or something, where he filed a claim against the MLB saying, for discrimination pretty much because
he's old.
The year before that, I think he still hit 30 home runs. He still had a productive year. But that's when I started seeing the trend. When he did that, he was like, you know what? There's no place. We're not going to pay you the type of money that you think that you deserve. When we could got some guy down at AAA, AA, that could come right up. And it's like you said, you have these kids that they're grown. They're already in a farm system before they're in a farm system.
Oh,
That's
100%. That's 100%.
That's the business.
It is. It's a business.
That's the business now.
But same thing, just like you just said with football, right? You were bringing up what wide receiver wins. How about Cano? Did he win? He went out in Seattle. Yeah, he got his $280 million or whatever he won.
And now
Nothing.
he's back in New York.
Any of those guys get paid, they don't win.
Yeah.
None of them.
Very rare.
No, you're right, because it's a lazy man sport. I mean, think about it. I was listening to part of my take this week, and I think it was the most interesting thing I heard from Blake Griffin. He said in any other sport, he goes, if it's basketball and it's a substitution, you hustle out on the court. Soccer, you hustle out. Football, in and out. They're going like this. Baseball, that motherfucker strikes out in front of you. You're walking to the plate. You probably spin a couple times. Yeah. You're like, you know what? Now it's my turn. There's no urgency. There's nothing like that.
There's no clock.
So there's no clock. And I'm not against
They're
that
trying
at
to
all.
make a clock.
Not against that at all. But I'm saying what his point is where these guys get paid and stuff. That's when the fat and lazy cut happens. That's when I already got mine.
Right.
Why am I going to go? But then you have these kids that are hungry, that have been dying to get there. I'd rather have that guy that's
tell you what,
ready to eat.
So
those kids need to. So the guys that are starting to get into their 30s or in their late 20s better pick it up a notch.
I tell you, I'm taking nobody over 30.
These kids, and then also something that me and him have talked about. Anytime you're saying once they get their contract and when it goes into fantasy, we always look at 1-year contracts.
Of course.
I mean, you look at with Beltray a couple of years ago. This year,
Donaldson.
Donaldson.
Matt
You look
Harvey.
at those players that are on those 1-year contracts, draft them in fantasy because they have to have a good year to get that contract, and then
That's a good point.
they walk slower to home plate after that.
Pillow contract there.
All right, so let me ask you this question then. If we're talking, guys who they're agents, you bring up Boris, all right? So are they pricing their players out of the market?
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
have to be, right?
Yeah.
Eventually it runs out, right?
So they're promising X, Y, and Z for that major guy.
From the
but
past.
what about that middle
That's the
road
guy that
guy?
dies.
He sits
That's
out
the
there.
guy that dies. If we're going to give Machado these contracts and we're going to give Harper this contract, you can't give it
Craig
to the young
Kimball.
guys.
Craig Kimball, he's still just sitting there, just
He
waiting.
should be.
He's
Well,
he's
no,
terrible.
I agree, but
He's the most
you
overrated.
go 4 years ago, you go.
He's the only guy he can strike out is Stanton.
Yeah, but 4 years ago, he would have had it.
This
he
isn't
would have
Boston
had it.
hate either. I've never liked Kimball.
No, I
I'm
hated
not.
It's
him.
not just because
So you can hate on it, it's fine, but I mean,
$100 million. I don't
he's
know what
crazy.
he's
I
not
think
getting.
it's good for baseball because there was 2 years ago or something I was saying after I think Stanton signed, I was like, we're going to be looking at a $500 million or somebody having what's next? Own part of the team.
Yeah.
So you know what? How about you start bringing up the youth and then the older guys? You know what? You either find the way to change positions, become a utility player.
Sign the Bobby Bonilla contract, man. That's
Wow.
what I would do.
Still getting paid.
That's what I would do.
Still getting
You could
paid.
defer the whole fucking thing.
That's amazing. He's the
I
smartest guy.
love Bobby Bonilla Day.
He is actually.
Tremendous.
Yeah.
Every year. He still has like 5 years left.
Yeah.
Still. It just happened. Didn't it just happen?
It's just a couple weeks ago.
No, it wasn't.
After,
It just
July. Isn't it July 1st?
No,
No.
it was like a month ago.
it was right before Harper signed, or right after Harper
What is
signed.
Bobby Bonilla Day? I mean, it's amazing.
Well, with all that said, what do you guys got? Scott, what do you got? You got any sleeper out there that you would
Sleepers?
draft in a redraft league? That might be a guy that, you know what I mean, that might not be your top 100.
I don't have a sleeper. I'm in love with Clevenger from Cleveland this year.
Really?
You think big, like Cy Young type year?
Cy Young
He
type
could.
year. I mean, I don't have anything.
Misses a lot of bats, right?
Yeah, I don't have anything. What you guys are speaking on and stuff. I just like the way the kid throws.
Mhm.
Yeah,
He could take that, but that's a
Not
good.
a
We were
top
talking
10
about
starter, probably, but
like
Well, I
a good
think-
player taking that
next
Cy Young type. He could do that.
I'm a big
Every
Trevor
July
Bauer
1st.
fan, too.
Yeah, I think Bauer.
Is it July 1st?
Yeah, every
Wow.
t-
I
the
love-
25.
Bauer last
that
year
right?
was
Yeah, you were right.
Bauer was
Because
on
they were
his
just
way to a
talking
Cy
about
Young
it.
too.
Yeah,
last year.
absolutely.
So,
Yep.
And there's a guy nobody liked. I mean, they passed up on him a couple times.
but
passed
let me
up
tell
on
you,
him.
when he was at UCLA, it was him and who's the kid from Houston now? The other kid from come on. You have Justin Verlander, then you have starting pitchers.
Cole.
Garrett Cole.
Garrett
Garrett
Cole.
Cole.
He was from UCLA. I remember watching
Those two.
Trevor Bauer, huck the ball. He was unique and stuff. There's something about somebody that is creative and they're good.
Mm-hmm.
I always take those type of players. Because everybody that goes to the basic books and stuff, it's like he could do that too, but he's deciding to go this path. It's like something about this guy that's
You hear his
unique.
dating rules too?
Yeah, he's
Guy's a
special,
character.
man.
Guy's
He's
a
only got to take a
character,
1 year
man.
deal too. So
He's a character.
What do you got, Harry? You got any sleeper out there?
You know, I really.
You'd have to dig.
I'd have to dig, man. I'm more because I've always done redraft leagues, so I just go with like the guys and I take information from a lot of people that know their baseball and try to get like little tidbits and try to punch it in like that. But
Is there anybody
This
out
is-
there right now that you don't want to talk about? Because we got a draft coming up, probably.
Oh yeah, don't leave it.
we got the house
Kids
rules
from
draft
Chicago,
coming
We
up.
might need you actually.
Oh yeah,
If
I'm
you're
in.
interested.
I'm in.
We got
Do
the
it.
house
Sign
rules
me up.
draft.
I just heard the way he doesn't mind spending money, so this is good. We got a cap, dude.
We need a cap with this guy.
Yeah.
Man, he'll fire away.
I'll just lose everywhere. I'm the cheapest motherfucker around, man. I'll be like, go ahead, man, have at it. Here's the
$5.
Donation.
You can have Bryce Harper.
Come on, Joe.
I'm
You
gonna say
got a
that
dark horse.
that
That's
one-
insane.
The one guy I really like this year, I want to see what he does if he gets the catcher job, is Williams
Oh, the kid from
Astudillo
Minnesota?
from Minnesota. Did you see what he did in Dominican League?
Yeah.
Hitting the home run
He's
on the
fun.
one knee.
Yeah.
And last year when he came up, he was on fire.
He's
What
on
do you
my-
like?
He's
Fourth?
He's on my list.
See,
He's
I
on
like
my
He's
him.
the big kid, right?
He's the big,
Yeah.
big
Yeah,
kid. He
yeah,
was
yeah.
wheeling around the bases.
Yeah.
I like
He's
him.
got a lot of flair. He's got.
And
a lot of
I
pop.
mean, and he's not. He's already out there, and everybody knows. But I want to see what Jimenez does for the White Sox this
Oh
year.
yeah.
I think he's
What a
gonna.
swing
I
by
think
that guy.
between him
Monster.
and, like I said, Vlad, that could be interesting.
Oh yeah, monster.
So
Who's
Monster
your-
player.
Here's my one question. Who's your Miguel Montero? And I know you guys were Yankee fans and stuff, but
Who's
what is it, Miguel Montero? Who's the Yankee
A guy with a lot of hype that's just not going
a
to be
lot of hype?
Jesus.
He was the Jesus Montero,
Yeah.
the one that got traded to Seattle.
a bust, I guess. Stay away from. There you go.
Yeah, yeah,
A
the
guy
guy-
you might want to
He's
stay
the
away
top
from.
prospect, and then he comes up, and you're like, "What the hell did you guys
Too
say?"
much hype. All right, there you go. Because everyone's easy.
The-
Everyone
we're
can
always
call out the guy.
but there's always
Like
that
the
guy.
guy
like,
everyone
how
loves.
do you get a top 5 prospect and then you don't do
Yeah.
anything?
and I'm going back from last year again too. That I think is gonna have a monster year, which I could be wrong.
Yes.
Justin Bohr is in the Angels this year. He looks huge, and he's hitting bombs,
He's
and
fat. Yeah.
he's gotten big. But he's hitting bombs out there, so we'll see if
Spring
he.
training too against number 98.
The ultimate value guy.
You know, Scott.
Justin Bauer.
Oh goodness.
Come on.
Yeah.
Justin Bohr.
He's
Justin
Bohr.
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 Oh,
Bohr.
Pass.
not Bauer.
Not Bauer. Bohr.
Trevor Bauer.
I don't know. I don't know if I could think of that. Stay away.
No, it's a tough question.
That's a tough one. I wasn't prepped for that one.
Yeah, I
But
wasn't either.
How about Sanchez?
Gary Sanchez?
I don't know, man.
Stay away from that too.
Well, there you go.
Really?
I-
Well, Sanchez
I'm
is
just not
supposed to be.
a fan.
He's supposed to be a star. And
See, I like him in
Not a
Seattle.
fan.
It's a pitcher ballpark and stuff. You know, just got traded from the Yankees. Gonna prove them wrong.
What are you trading for me?
Sanchez,
Which
or
Sanchez are you
no,
talking?
the one that you guys got.
Yeah, no.
No, wrong
No.
guy.
I'm just
Okay.
talking about the
Oh.
Gary Sanchez, the catcher.
Catcher for the New York Yankees.
Norman,
Get that fucking sock off your head.
That's that thing's a little too tight.
Blood
Get a little
flow.
I was like, I look, 'cause he got me earlier, so I'm like, maybe he's right. Did he get? I'm like,
You know
No,
what?
we're
Gary
definitely talking about
Sheffield, the Sheffield guy. That's what.
Justin
Justin
Sheffield. That's what I was
Okay.
talking about.
All right.
Just to bring myself back.
now
yeah.
he's looked
Good
good
job.
in the spring.
Yeah, I'm just.
Yeah.
That was my point.
No, he'll definitely.
Yeah.
I definitely like him.
Yeah,
Definitely.
you got to give the get. And James Paxton is a good get. He's another guy though. Injuries.
I'm not a fan of what the Yankees have done. To be honest with
Really? Even how they showed up their bullpen?
you. The bullpen, great.
The kid from Colorado.
But let me ask you this question: How do we as Yankee fans, who went through the whole George Steinbrenner era, how do we have the two biggest free agents and we don't get one? We're not even players. We let those guys go. I mean, listen, Bryce Harper. Here's a guy who wanted to. Why?
I wasn't that mad at it, man. Because
this guy wants to create a legacy for himself. You don't understand. He wants to be the next Mickey Mantle.
Got too many of those guys.
I think we already got. You got Stanton. You got Judge.
Who would you rather have, Bryce Harper or Stanton?
Bryce Harper.
Well, if we had to choose,
Bryce Harper.
well, we have Stanton. So what are we supposed to do?
You guys jumped too early.
Definitely agree with that.
Then we jumped too early.
And the Red Sox made the right move by J.D. Martinez.
Yeah, they did.
That was their counteract.
Yeah.
Boom. That was unbelievable. Talking about MVP type season guy.
This time last year, we were not saying that. We were saying
true.
J.D. Martinez was a knee-jerk reaction.
Very true.
You know? And it turns out that
and his numbers were inflated because of he went to Arizona second half.
He had a monster year,
and then
but it was a hitter with Detroit.
He's a guy that believes in everything that you're saying, where you're studying.
Absolutely.
You're studying the trajectory of the ball and stuff. He believes in what's it called, where you hit launch angle, you hit under the ball and stuff. He's changed his swing since he's came up with Houston and stuff till now. So I mean, even you have Big Papi who said the guy's insane. He goes, if I had that,
he might be the best hitter in the game right now.
He really is.
You could argue that.
But why am I always scared to take him in fantasy? Every mock draft I do, I see him out there.
Because you don't like him.
No, I do like him. It's not that I don't like him.
To draft up my team either.
No. It's not about being a Red Sox. It's just I had Mookie Betts last year.
I would love to have J.D. Martinez on my fantasy team.
No kidding.
Are you kidding?
No, it's just there's something about last year he had the great year and stuff. There's something about the hot to cold start. I never liked that. It's like Freddie Freeman. Always people would say, all right, he'll have this great first start and then the second half.
Who are you taking, Freeman or J.D. Martinez?
J.D. Martinez. I'm just saying, I always try to stay away from fantasy players that they have that one big burst and then they slow down. I like to have the guy that just goes on through.
Did he have a real cold stretch?
No, but he was known for that before. That's what I was saying. That's why
you don't like the guy that gets all his numbers in like July, and then he does nothing in August.
No, I know.
I hear what you're saying.
I
try to avoid guys like that too.
I'm not going to say this guy's a sleeper, but I think that I think that Jackie Bradley Jr. takes a big step this year.
I do.
I'm talking a big step.
I do too. I agree with that.
Like all-star step?
Yeah, like 2 years ago he was an all-star.
You know
he's a Gold Glover. We know that. He strikes out a ton,
but his hard contact rate is going up and up and
up. It keeps going up.
The stats, it's there. It's there, primed for.
That's a good one because he's probably somebody I'd probably stay away from him.
Erod too for the Red Sox. Pedro's been working with him and supposedly looks great. I mean, everybody loves Erod this year. Not just sticking with the Sox, but yeah.
No, that's a good point right there.
And everybody loves Scott's new sleeve on his head.
Yeah. I was gonna say one last thing, just because you were talking about like the scouts and stuff, and how they look at like the new age and method.
Scott's looking for a tryout.
You seen Trouble with the Curve, right?
Yeah.
The movie.
Of course.
I really do believe in, not just because it's the movie, but I do believe that sometimes we almost fall into, this is what it is. The numbers don't lie and stuff. When you do have the old school scout or the guy that's seen it or heard it,
right?
That's the truth. I was just wondering your opinion.
Well, I mean, listen, I try to research this as much as I can, only because my kids are still involved in youth sports, and I follow everything. I mean, everything. I know the kid right now who's 15 years old who hits the ball hard with Stan. Okay, I mean, there are kids out there that are just, analytically, if you want to talk about like stats and this guy has to put everything on pencil and paper. This guy is exit velocity this, and it's a built resume versus actually seeing what's happening. Firsthand. I'm 50-50 on that because I don't really care about those. It means something, but when you're there and you actually see that ball jump off of somebody's bat and it's a different sound than somebody else's. Yeah. I mean, that don't make sense. Well, that don't make sense on a piece of paper, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how do you put that down? I mean, scouting reports are wrong all the time. And I'll be honest with you, a lot of the old school scouts. Listen, the guy for the Cincinnati Reds that does New England, he's still he's 5 years old and he's around here picking his chair up and waddling around a couple of these games. Like, how does that guy?
No.
Right, come on. Times have changed. You got no see, you can't see nothing. You don't have anything. But I don't know. So I think some of those people are changing over. I mean,
maybe it's more like blending the two.
Yeah.
Together. A little bit of both.
Some of the organizations are going heavy on analytical.
Almost too much.
Yeah.
That's all.
I'm just curious.
No, it's interesting. Sure. Yeah, you get a little bit to both, right?
Yeah, I think you gotta still see and you gotta still hear it. You know what I mean? The stats can can bring you to that tryout or that guy's doing the workout or something like that. I mean, like, look at Tulo. Everybody went to his, he had a private workout. And everybody was like, well, that ball's jumping off his bat.
Mm-hmm.
That was the old school Tulo, some people said, and the Yankees obviously gave him a chance. We don't know what's going to happen there.
No money for it.
But you're talking, the guy says, oh, his if his stats were X, Y, and Z, and people recorded and they sent it out and said, oh, that's his numbers.
You didn't know
Is
the
anybody
name. You would have been.
Yeah, right? I mean, the guy's been injured. Well, let's go see what this guy looks like. He's diving plays, jumping in the hole. I mean, I think you still got to see. You can't take that away.
Yeah, somewhere in the middle. I think the
Yeah.
truth generator lies somewhere in the middle, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So.
But even still, the last point I want to make about being there and putting those kids through those high pressure situations. I mean, if you stay local and you don't get out of your area, how do you know where you stand?
That's true, man.
You have to be able to play in those hard situations where
Get out of your
there's
comfort
scouts
zone.
out there and you got
Yeah,
bases
we talk-
loaded and you're
yeah,
trying to
we
get
talk
something
It's
about
going.
been a big topic in this
all the
conference.
time.
Get
Getting
the fuck
out of
your comfort zone.
Get out of your
That's it.
comfort zone.
You're
Man.
right.
Ronnie always
Scott.
says it.
You want
Scott's
to be the best.
embodying.
You want to be the best player in Southeastern Connecticut. You can do that.
But then when you have to go on the
But
road,
then when
and
you
go
gotta
to
go on the
college
road,
and
it's like,
fail.
oh, I got screwed. No, you didn't. They were just better than you.
Great point.
Great
No,
point,
great
Yanni.
You got to know your level.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to know? Don't you want to know your level?
You should.
Yeah,
And listen, not every kid is a D1 player.
it's good to find
Yeah.
out.
Doesn't mean
It's
you
good
can't
to
be
find
D3. Doesn't mean you can't be recognized. Some of these guys are, getting called up, like you brought up earlier. 27 years old, 28 years old, getting their first, chances.
Yeah, we had a kid on
Late
the other day,
bloomers.
Anthony Giansani.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
had Anthony on
I know
a couple
Anthony.
weeks ago. Anthony's love the kid's attitude.
Yeah, he's great.
Love his attitude, positive. He's is he 30 years old now?
30
Yeah.
years old, 30,
Around
31.
30.
He says, crazier things have happened.
Yeah.
Well,
You're right.
Your last guest, Katie,
Yeah.
her ex-husband, Jason drove.
Yeah.
That's a kid's a beast. You want to see
Yeah.
somebody hit a baseball, but hey, at some point in time, you got to look around and say, wait a second, where am I fitting in here? If
Right.
you're not fitting, you got to move on. There's
Yeah.
so many people, and there's so many people competing for that. If you just don't have that little extra piece, you're just another guy swimming in the
And
pond.
that's what it is, man.
That's tough.
Hey, it was great having you on, Billy.
Listen, I had so much fun. You guys are hilarious. I can sit here
Thank you.
for hours and listen
Oh,
to
I
this back
believe
and forth. The sock, you definitely win fucking custom.
Hey, I
Yeah.
try. I do think about this
Costume
before I
of
show
the
up.
day.
I
Definitely
got something
you're
for
a winner.
next week too. Don't worry. Wait until you see summer, man. Splashes in here.
Man, his boxers are dick hanging out.
House Rules March through 13th, sponsored by Anchor.fm and the Black Tux. Working on other sponsors. We'll be back next week with going into March Madness, and then the final week in May we'll go right into baseball from there. Thanks a lot for coming on.
Oh, thank you.
Great stuff. House Rules
House
out.
We're going up to New York on Saturday for NFBC. My father-in-law, he does it. It's like I think it's like a $2,000 or $3,000